This week on Machinery Pete TV, we continue our look at the Sullivan Classic Car Auction. A massive family collection features this 1971 Torino Cobra muscle car. Pete goes coast to coast to compare record auction prices. And it may have the Porsche name, but you won't find it in any car collection.
Your machinery is a serious investment and at the heart of every farming operation. Some call it a passion. We're Machinery Pete TV, and today we'll cover everything from auction roundups to the classics to the latest trends and technology. Machinery Pete, the most trusted name in farm equipment.
Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. Visit sullivanauctioneers.com. A&I Products is a lower cost, quality replacement part solution for all types and ages of ag equipment across all brands. Visit aiproducts.com. Hey folks, welcome to Machinery Pete TV from Carthage, Illinois this week. We're here for Sullivan Auctioneers' amazing two-day no-reserve collector vehicle auction. And you think Sullivan Auctioneers, you think farm equipment, John Deere tractors, Case IH, and yes, the guys do an awesome job there, but sometimes their sellers, turns out, have some collector cars. And on today's show, we're going to focus on an Iowa family that has some pretty sweet rigs on this auction, including this 1971 Torino. Now, before we see what this baby sells for, you know what we got to do. Go back to the studio, catch up on the latest farm equipment news.
All right, thanks, Pete. I'm Clinton Griffiths. A new report says global food insecurity has increased by nearly 10% this year. USDA's Economic Research Service putting together this map. You can see the areas in darker red, especially North Africa, are most impacted, seeing a bigger increase in food insecurity. Now, the researchers estimate almost 119 million more people will be food insecure this year. It says the increase in international prices for wheat, grains, and vegetable oils has been made worse by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. A labor strike still remains a possibility for U.S. railroads. That's after the third largest railroad union rejected a tentative agreement this week. More than half of the 23,000 members of the Brotherhood of Maintenance of Way Employees Division Union opposed the agreement. You'll remember the last-minute tentative agreement was struck just before that September 16th deadline, but union leaders argue the railroads didn't do enough to address worker concerns, specifically working conditions and paid time off. Now, both sides will need to return to the bargaining table to avoid a possible strike once again. They have until at least November 19th, according to the union. Major railroads, they carry 30% of the nation's freight. Farmland is still going for record amounts in Plymouth County. A local farmer reportedly bought this land for $26,250 an acre in Iowa. Bidding started at $17,000. Now, Jim Rothermich of Iowa Appraisal says he confirmed the sale price has no influence from development or wind energy. He says it's the highest price he knows of in the state and in Plymouth County. The last record was just set back in August when property in Sioux County went for $26,000 an acre. That's it for news. Now let's check on some recent auctions from around the country.
Machinery Pete TV is brought to you by Farm Shop MFG. Did you know that 20% of stored corn is often overventilated by 3 points of moisture? On 100,000 bushels, that's a whole semi-load. Stop this problem for less with the End Zone for Corn from Farm Shop MFG, specially priced at $1,800 per unit while supplies last.
Hey folks, I'm here with Craig Hoyer, sale manager with Sullivan Auctioneers at this amazing facility here in Carthage, Illinois. Craig, housing these amazing vehicles on your auction. And we're going to talk about a particular line from Northeast Iowa. I believe it was folks you guys had a farm equipment sale for this spring.
The Spiker estate sale, we had an amazing farm machinery sale for them. and they like the results so much they're going to let us sell their cars.
Yeah, and I think there were some record prices on that farm auction. I remember about blogging. You had an MX 285 Case IH. So the Spikers like their red tractors and equipment, but I understand kind of the Ford family of vehicles were kind of their thing.
It was. They really enjoyed their high performance Ford products, and they got several really nice, kind of rare vehicles here.
How about back in the corner, what we got, is that a Talladega?
That's a Talladega. That's a 1969 Talladega, one of 750 Talladegas ever made.
Wow. And what is it about the, Joe was telling me about the front nose on that thing. It's a little bit unusual.
It kind of dips down and it's a little bit like a nose piece, kind of NASCAR.
Right, NASCAR feel.
NASCAR-esque
Nice.
kind of car.
You gotta love that color too. Very cool. Now next to it we have
a 73 Mach 1.
Okay.
And it's got the 351 in it, and it's just, it sounds great. It is just a really cool car, especially in that color. Everyone's gonna like it.
That must have looked awful good tooling around Northeast Iowa, I think. Well, any of these vehicles. But what do we have next to it here?
And then we got a 69 Cyclone spoiler, Dan Gurney special. You know, it is, I've never seen one before until I met the Spiker family. But that car is just, it's got the look, it's got the spoiler. It is a very, very nice,
and
rare.
the Dan Gurney aspect, again, for folks maybe who aren't as familiar.
Or just NASCAR race car.
Right.
It's just, it's a very, very cool car. And it'd be hard to find another one.
Right. And now it just look amazing. Just fantastic. Now next door, a little older model. What do we have here, Craig?
A 63 and a half Galaxy. It's got a 428 in it and a 4-speed. And he loaded it up and he put air conditioning, you know, power steering, power brakes. He put Willwood disc brakes all the way around it. It is a very, very high performance, very nice car.
High performance, and the look of it, that it's just sleek, and it screams that early 60s period, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Now next door, a little back into the muscle car era. What do we got here?
A 70 Cougar, but it's got the Eliminator package. It's that bright competition blue, and that is a sweet car.
That's getting into Richard Petty blue almost, isn't it?
It's got the hideaway headlights. You know, these Cougar guys, this is a real desirable Cougar.
Have you guys sold many over the past few years here at Sullivan Auctioneers?
Oh, we've sold several of them, but I think this will probably be one of our better ones.
Cougar trends up there pretty highly, huh?
Cougar trends are up there.
Here are a few more items that sold on today's sale. What's that piece of equipment worth? Check out Machinery Pete's auction prices for the answer. Free to view, updated daily, all types of equipment. Go to machinerypete.com and click on the auction tab, then auction price data. Hey folks, I'm here with Craig Hoyer with Sullivan Auctioneers, a sales manager. And Craig, we gotta hear the story. First of all, your background in the auction biz. You're third generation, right?
Third generation auctioneer, and been going to sales my whole life. It's a lot of fun. The business is great.
Now, when did you get involved with Joe on the car auction side here?
On the car auction side of it, I'd say it was probably 6 years ago.
Okay.
And you know, I was just kind of helping him out, going to take photos, going to talk to the people, and then it just progressed.
Well, the attention to detail you guys put to all these listings, I mean, people get their catalog and then they go online to bid, and they don't maybe get to see all the work that goes into it. But, you know, describing one of these cars and all the pictures you take and getting it up on blocks, can you talk about that process? Do you enjoy that level of detail with all these vehicles?
It's really nice to be able to spend some time on a car. You know, you drive it around, you start it, you talk to the owner, you kind of get a backstory of it, and you know, you get to really check it over, get the factual details of the car, and it, you know, when you put that much effort into it and you put it on the hoist, make your videos, it really puts the buyer at ease, especially if they're clear across the country or just down the street.
Well, I know with Sullivan Auctioneers that, I mean, the trust factor, huge. Of course, no reserve, which you're doing here on the collector car auction. Can you talk, Craig, about, you know, not every car is an A+, 11 out of 10, and that's just the way it is. But when you're getting calls, and you must just get bombarded the month before one of these auctions, shooting people straight on the condition, can you speak to the importance of that?
The importance of that is one of the top things, because, you know, when someone has dad's car, or, you know, it's a car they built with their son or their daughter, you know, people get really attached to these cars.
Right.
And if they're thinking the world of the car and we know it's not achievable, there's no point of going any further and selling their car and getting everyone disappointed. So we like to call them, talk to them about it, get a realistic figure in mind.
Right.
And if it's not achievable, you know, I would say this sale I've probably turned 60 cars away.
Hey, welcome back to Tractor Tales, folks. This week we found a collector in Washington State with a Porsche Master, and this tractor was rescued and restored to its original condition.
We have a 1959 Porsche Master. And that's the largest model of the 4 models that Porsche produced from 1938 to 1963. And this one is one of 200 built of this particular model. We're estimating that there might be about 17 of these left. So they're very rare and very much sought after. When I moved to Washington in 2000, I joined a tractor club up here, and I just happened to mention to the president of the club that I said I think I'm going to look for a Porsche tractor because I'm a Porsche car owner. Well, he told me where the tractor was. Of course, I acquired that one, and then they started showing up because people knew I was looking. Yeah, this tractor happened to be in a bird sanctuary. It was kind of I think it was used on a peat bog down in Kitsap County, which is about 60 miles south of here. When they stopped harvesting the peat, they just left the tractor there. Of course, it became a waterway, and so the gentleman that I got it from, he and his sons were told about this tractor, and they decided they wanted it very badly. But the owner of the property said, this is a bird sanctuary, you're not allowed to use power equipment. So they used come-alongs and cribbing. Some of the European tractors, Porsche as well as the Lamborghini, they're air-cooled diesels. They're not water-cooled. So as long as you keep the cylinders clean, they never overheat. They're very unique. These tractors had a viscous coupling, so you could start the tractor in any gear. There was a belt pulley available for the front. The 3-cylinder tractors had 4 PTOs. This particular tractor, the Germans didn't like it because it was a little large for them. They liked the 3-cylinder and the 2-cylinder the most. I take my grandkids in parades with me, so they're able to sit. It's just fun to be the unique tractor owner that has something that nobody else has, and I really enjoy that.
Got equipment to sell privately but tired of scams and hassles? Visit MachineryPete.com and click Sell Mine. MachineryPete.com, the simple and secure way to buy and sell equipment online.
This is a 71 Torino, and this is a pretty rare car. The Elite Marty report on it takes it down to being a one-of-one car. It's
one of one in terms of the configuration, or
just the configuration of it. It's supposed to be the only one with a tack. And the cool part about that tack is the way it doesn't move like a regular tack. It kind of spins like a dial.
Boy, and the coloring on it is just, I mean, again, you don't see vehicles like this anymore, do you?
No. And it's got the laser stripes and the sport slats, and it's got the
just beautiful inside.
The shaker hood.
Yep.
And it is just a super nice Torino.
Well, Craig, I was, as we walk around here and look at some of these vehicles, I was telling you and Joe, you guys are selling smiles here.
We're selling a good time.
You're selling a really good time. And it must be interesting just to hear the stories of the sellers as they, share with you the history on these vehicles, why they were important to them. It's got to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. You know, every car has a different story, I'm
Right.
sure, like every tractor does.
Yep.
But cars hold a special place in everyone's heart, and we get to sell them for them.
Well, folks, all these years compiling auction sale prices, just over 3 decades now, I got to tell you, one of the funnest parts of the gig is compiling prices from different parts of the country, the U.S. or throughout Canada. And recently had a couple eye-opening auctions, one from the far northeast and one from the west coast. On a September 13th auction in Shapley, Maine, by the good folks at Keenan Auction Company, this 2021 Kubota MX6000 tractor with only 9 hours on it and a loader sold for $44,000. Now that's the highest auction price I've ever seen on a Kubota MX6000, just squeaking past one we saw sold last month, August 3rd, 2022 in Oklahoma at $43,500 with a loader. Now on that same auction in Maine, September 13th, this 2020 Kubota RTV X1100C UTV with 42.5 hours on it sold for $26,000, and that's the 3rd highest auction price I've ever seen on any Kubota ATV or UTV. Now the next day, September 14th, let's hop over to Ellensburg, Washington, where our friends at Booker Auction Company had a beautiful farm retirement auction. And a couple highlights on the sale was this really sharp 2009 Case IH Steiger 485 quad track, 2,271 hours on it, sold for $271,500. Folks, that's the 2nd highest auction price ever on a 485 quad track and the highest in almost 11 years. And then what really caught my eye in the sale was they had 5 Freeman 370 balers, including a pair of self-propelled. And the highest seller was this 97 model with 2,859 hours, sold for $55,500. Well, I tell you folks, the collector angle of the auction market has been so much fun to report on over the years. Just recently, I saw a Ford 900 pedal tractor chain drive sell for $19,500 on the sale in Ohio. But I tell you, whether it's pedal tractors, antique tractors, pickup trucks, it is so fun to watch these collector items sell. And I hope you enjoyed our visit today to Carthage, Illinois, to drop in on Sullivan Auctioneer's annual No Reserve Summer Collector Auction. Now tune in next week here on Machinery Pete TV. We'll have a few more items that you can talk about in the coffee shop. Machinery Pete thanks these premier sponsors for their support. Sullivan Auctioneers. Let our team of professionals show you how to make your auction a success. Visit sullivanauctioneers.com. A&I Products is a lower cost, quality replacement parts solution for all types and ages of ag equipment across all brands. Visit aiproducts.com.